Hello, everyone. Welcome back
Hello.
to our podcast.
Hello,
So,
hello.
we officially have a name now, right?
Yeah, we have a name.
Yeah, we have a name. Do you want to announce it?
Yeah, we are Freelance and Friends. And we have this name because, yeah, we're freelance and we're friends. And that's kind of, we want to talk about freelancing and
Mm,
working with creative things. But also, we are wanting to talk about that in more of a friendship kind of manner. We don't want to have
mm.
a very serious interview.
A
It's
little
more,
bit like casual,
yeah,
just the
exactly.
casualness of it. And also, like, I think you said in the first episode that most of our friends are also freelance. So it kind of
Exactly.
works.
Yeah. So yeah, we were also thinking maybe having a name that was all our friends are freelance.
Yes,
But yeah,
yeah.
we will see. Maybe if you guys love that even more, we will discuss it. But
Yeah,
for
yeah,
now,
yeah.
it's freelance and friends, and we like that.
Freelance and Friends. Yeah, I really like it. I really like it.
Yeah.
It feels like you can already like I want to have like a jingle, like a theme song for the
Yeah, you
Freelance
kind
and
of
Friends.
started it there. You were singing, and we can sample that for.
Do something about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, do you want to have like an update, like what's going on in your life?
Yeah. So what has been going on in my life, and I guess our life, is also that we have had struggle to record
A
this episode
hard
because there has been
time.
so many technical issues.
Oof, yeah. Like technical things like electronics are not my friends at all. I've said that since I was young. Like a toaster once attacked me. It's just like electronics are not my friends.
Yeah,
I should
and
just
me
live in a cave
neither.
somewhere.
Yeah, and I guess
Yeah.
we tried recording this episode last week as well, and I forgot to hit the record button, and
My
yeah,
camera
so many.
died.
Uh, yeah, so it was tears were shed. Like it was so
Oof,
frustrating.
yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
And yeah, I was really having a stressful week last week, and it had
Mm,
honestly been stressful ever since I came home almost from tour. So about 5 weeks at that point, I had been feeling super stressed, and yeah, so it really came to a peak. I felt like
mm.
that day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was a
But I'm
hard day, yeah.
feeling, yeah, it was a hard day. It was a hard week. Like the day itself was kind
Mm,
of good, but it was such a stressful week.
mm,
So, but I've been feeling better this week.
mm.
Things are slowing down slightly, so I've still been having some highs and lows with it, but yeah, it's better for sure. And I went to a ceramics course yesterday.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, so I've been
Uh,
going it's the third time now, I think.
mm.
Yeah, and I have to bike there. It's like a town nearby, and I had this clever idea to sign up for this ceramics course, and I was like, sure, that's gonna work out. I don't have a car, but it's like, I mean, I've biked there before, and there's probably a bus going there, and then it was like, so there's a bus going to the course, but after the course, there isn't a bus in 3 hours or something, and
Oh
it's definitely
wow.
not the town that you want to hang out in. There is nothing there. Maybe there's a grocery store open, but other than that, it's just everything's closed. So
Yeah, you can't
I
like
was
stall.
no, I can't sit
Yeah.
in a cafe or anything.
Yeah.
So I'm biking there now every time, and it takes an hour to get there with the bike. So
Like when
it's a
it's
bit of
sunny,
a
it's probably
project.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it was very nice yesterday. So it is a nice thing I do. I feel like I'm actually, it's a good thing because I'm kind of doing it for me.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's just I'm taking these 4 or 5 hours out of my day and just being like, this is just something that I do for fun. It's nothing
Mm.
work related, and it's nothing, yeah. So in a way it's really good, but it has been a bit tricky with the stressful weeks that I've had lately to actually carve out that much time to bike there. Yeah, it's really beautiful though. It's like this gravel road through forest, and there's all these
Oh.
farms, and then there are a few lakes on the way, so it's beautiful to bike there, but it's yeah, it's a
Yeah,
long
yeah,
way.
yeah. So what are you making?
So I'm sitting here today with one of my my
Oh
coffee
my
cups. And it has been glazed now, so I can drink from it. It's really nice.
Oh, it's
I don't think you can
beautiful.
see it though because it's the light is a
Yeah, I
bit.
can see it a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so beautiful. What, the one with the
Yeah.
leaves? Do you have that one too?
Yeah, this
Oh,
one
you have that
it
one?
actually had the leaves, but it's they drowned a bit in the
Oh,
glazing, you
yeah.
know.
Oh, but it's still so pretty.
Thank you. And it's dark inside. And then
Ooh.
yeah, so it was really fun to see it after it had been glazed and stuff. It was really cool. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to next time because I glazed a few more things, and we'll see how they turn out.
So how many days are there? How many courses?
There are two more evenings now, so it's been six
Yeah.
times.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's great. It's like yeah, many weeks actually to have this process going on, so it's nice.
I really want to do something like that too. Like there is this little studio in town that I really want to try out that I bought gift cards to my mum and her fiance for Christmas. And I really want to go because they do like date night ceramics classes. So
Nice.
it's like, yeah, so it's just like a big group date with a lot of other couples. And they mostly do it like, I think it's for 2 or 3 hours at a time. But then it's just like one course. So it's not like a running course. Yeah.
It's not that much of a commitment, I
Yeah,
guess.
it's just one day. It's just one evening,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And they
that
do
sounds
like,
super fun.
yeah, it's with drinking. They have wine and like if you want to
Hmm.
drink. And yeah, it seems really cozy.
That sounds really cozy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to try that.
How's your week been though?
It's been rough, man.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, nah, it's all good. So I've been sick and I've had my period and I've had a migraine and it's just I'm slowly getting out of it, slowly getting back to like myself again because it's a little bit draining to just go from one physical issue to another and to another, and then it feels like okay, now I need to be back. I need to be back to my regular self again, and my printer broke down yesterday. So it's been like a little bit of a stressful couple of weeks, or like the beginning of this week at least. Um,
Yeah.
but it's going to be sunny for the rest of the week.
Oh, that's nice.
So yeah, so it's looking brighter already. It's going to be
Hmm.
like a nice week. I've decided that this is going to be a nice week.
Yeah. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry that it's been such a stressful week for you.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Mm.
It happens. But it was a really nice weekend last weekend because I worked in the shop
Mm.
and I sent you a picture of two
Yeah.
people that was from Portland, Oregon that
Yeah.
visited my shop because of Maria's video on YouTube.
Oh, that was so
It
nice.
was so sweet, and they've written to me like we're going to like stop by again before we go home, and
Oh,
this was like their favorite memory from the whole trip because they
that's
really
so
really like
nice.
you. They like
And you,
they
I guess.
really. Yeah, yeah. He took a picture of me like you're kind of famous. I'm like, stop it. Oh, but he was so sweet.
That's so funny.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, they were lovely.
Oh,
So this is the second time that
so
someone has stopped
cozy.
by. Yeah. So I hope like I really enjoy it. It's so much fun because it feels like there's this link right between you and me that
Yeah,
these people
exactly.
know both of us somehow, and it's
Yeah.
kind of like wow, we have like a friend in common.
And it's like I just feel like for me it's so nice because I felt like kind of moved by that when you sent me that picture of
Yeah.
oh, almost like tearing up a bit. It's just
Yeah.
I don't know, this is so I feel like it's almost a bit hard to like say it because I feel like maybe I'm insulting people, but it just feels like oh, these people are real
Hmm.
for me. Like when you're sending me a picture like that, it's like wow, they exist like because it's just like when you're just talking with people all the time online it just sometimes becomes a bit like
You're just a
are they really
screen.
there, is it
Yeah.
actually real? And I often also feel like they're so kind, the people that write the comments on my videos, so I often feel like they can't be real, you know. It's like they're so
Yeah.
nice. So like, wow, they're real people, and they're here
Oh.
talking to my friend. It's so nice.
No, it was just so lovely. It
Mm.
really just made my day. So when I wrote you, because I felt like the moment they said that, oh, we know you from Maria's video, my immediate thought was, I need to text Maria right now, and I
Yeah.
hope that she sees it so that I can tell them that Maria wrote back, look at this.
Yeah.
Because I felt like if it had been me, like having someone write to one of my favorite YouTubers in my presence would just be so much fun, because it feels like, oh, it's almost like I'm meeting them. And I knew that they really would appreciate that, because I imagine, like, if they could choose, they would have met you, because you are like the YouTuber they watch. They know your life and all that. So it's kind of like
Mm.
like a little bit of a sneak peek into like a connection to you as well. And it was just so
Yeah.
sweet.
I feel like it's better in a way for me. Like I think it's nice that they're meeting you. It's
Yeah.
just I don't know, it just gives this bit more, I don't know, broader
Oh yeah.
feeling of who I am. I just feel like that's the thing also with having my friends in the video sometimes, like you, and I just feel like it's broadening the horizon of like
Yeah.
my life too, you know, like it's
Yeah, that's
not
true.
just me and this camera on me all the time. I like that people are meeting you and not me, basically.
Yeah.
It's just it's, I don't know how to explain it. It's just I
I
don't
have
know.
to
I just feel
represent you when they meet me.
no.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. No, but it's just nice not to always have the focus on me. Is basically
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah. I get
saying.
that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, are you ready for today's theme?
Oh yeah. So let's try to do this again.
Time to roast you again.
Yes.
So, today's theme is work-life balance. And Maria, how's your work-life balance?
My work life balance is kind of non existent still.
Yeah.
So I felt like last time when we talked about this, it was really non existent because it was
Yeah.
such a stressful weeks. But now it is better, but
Mm.
still kind of not so good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tell me about it.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the main problem is that it's actually kind of hard, I think. I feel like it's also an excuse, though, when I say this, but it's also kind of hard to create these very structured routines around YouTube because,
Mm.
especially since I film outside in nature, I also have to be able to film in the evening, mornings, nights, and also since I film my life, I have to kind of be able to film when things are actually happening in my life. So it's
Yeah.
hard to make this like 8 to 4 type of
Yeah, yeah, it
day.
doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way. And I think I wouldn't have been as inspired either if I was working that way, because then I couldn't have filmed when it was really beautiful in the evening. And I don't know, it's just tricky to create that balance. And then editing, like I said, also, it's just, it takes so much more time usually than I actually think
Mm.
it's gonna do. So sometimes it's just, I plan for it to be 2 days and then I'm not happy with the video and it just lasts forever. I don't know.
Mm.
So my problem lately has been also that I'm working with this, and then I also have this project with the art center here up on the mountains that I'm working with together with other people, and it has just been very time consuming lately. So
Yeah.
when there are too many projects piling up on each other, then it has been more like I've been getting up in the morning, eating my breakfast, going to the art center, working there for maybe like 6 hours, having meetings and stuff like that, and then going home, editing the video until evening, eating maybe some food at 10 o'clock in the evening, like my dinner time is like 10 o'clock in the evening,
Oh
and then
wow, yeah.
going to bed and then starting the same thing over again next morning. And when it's like that, there's no balance. There's just no balance.
It's just work. It's just
Just
work and
work.
no life. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I feel like, yeah. So what the listeners are gonna realize eventually through this podcast is that this is basically me learning from you how to have a work-life balance. Because
Oh my gosh.
how is your work-life balance, Anna? Tell everyone about your structured life.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I'm kind of yeah, I'm very structured now, but like I used to be very unbalanced as well. Like only 2 years ago, I would have had that kind of lifestyle where I woke up whenever, like I could wake up at 11 or 12 and I would just like slouch around, just walk my dog, eat, watch YouTube, slouch. Just not, yeah, like I wouldn't do anything until like 10 or 11 at night. And then I would paint until like 4 or 5 in the morning. And then I would go to bed and then I would like repeat the cycle. And it was mostly me just procrastinating because I knew that I had things I needed to do, but I just couldn't manage my, like, it was just too much going on in my head. I was just like either numbing myself out with social media and YouTube, or I would just be scattered. Like my brain would just be so scattered. So when I would sit down to try to do something, it would just be like my focus couldn't stay there until like late at night when my head was too tired after a day of just like constant stimuli. And then I could like zone out because then I knew that no one else was awake. Booby was sleeping, like my dog was sleeping, so I could just paint. And that was the only time I felt like I could paint.
Mm.
But then I learned that I can actually paint during the day as well. And
Wow.
yeah, it was a revelation. And now my my strictest probably rule is that I'm not on social media before 12, like before
Mm.
noon. So my morning is from probably like 8, around 8, 7 or 8. And then I just eat and I like usually eat breakfast in quiet or just like some mellow jazz in the background.
Mm.
And I take it slow because I feel like that is a nice way to wake up for me still.
Mm.
Not to slouch, but to just like take my time. And then I just sit down and paint. And then when I paint, I put my phone in the other room, like in my living room. My phone is not supposed to be in the office when I paint because then it's like a temptation thing. And yeah, and I don't go on social media after 6. So it's just like
Mm.
6 hours of the day. That is like the social media window in a
Yeah,
way.
because you're only allowed to start social media at 12, right? So you don't,
Yes.
yeah, don't open any apps, nothing.
Like I check if I have any messages from Messenger, but
Yeah.
other than that, it's like, yeah, it's
Mm.
nothing.
Mm.
Mm.
And you said also you have like a good evening routine as well. It was like after
Oh
work.
yeah, yeah. Well, I usually have like 2 hours of just quiet, like no screen time and no um like music or anything. 2 hours before I go to bed, just to like calm myself down for the night. Because I used to really struggle with insomnia way back when I had really bad anxiety. So then I couldn't fall asleep because my head was all like wired and
Mm.
just like noisy. So now that I'm just like sitting in quiet before I go to bed, it's like it's already calmed down enough that when I go to bed, it's just like and I fall asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you had like you turn like the lights off usually, or the and you
Before
used, yeah?
it's so funny. Like back when I didn't have a good balance, I would have like a TV series going right like beside my face because it would distract my head from just spiraling. So I would just like have sound, screaming sound and like lights in my face when I was trying to fall asleep. And of course it didn't help. But back then I thought that oh, it helped my head just be quiet for a little bit. And now it's completely dark. It's not, well, me and my partner we've we bought 3 like packages of glow in the light stars.
Yeah.
So
That's
our
so cute.
entire our entire roof, like ceiling, is just covered in glow in the light, glow in the dark stars. So it's just like, and we actually did research like proper zodiac signs and like star signs and stuff. So it's actual star signs in the ceiling. So it's not completely dark, but it is like no lights.
Oh, that's awesome. And also, I think you said that you use candlelights in the evening, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah.
before you go to bed, so that
Mm,
you lower the blue light, I
mm,
guess. Yeah,
yeah,
that's also very smart. Hmm.
yeah. So,
I
but it
feel like,
helps for my sleep schedule as well. It's just like all
mm,
of these things. It's not just for work. It's just for my life because I've struggled so much with my mental health through the years, and now that I feel like everything has balanced out a bit, I feel like I just need these things to just stay like balanced in a way.
mm,
Mm,
yeah, and I feel like it's kind of, I feel like it's very impressive, basically, because I feel like it's so it's so hard to create a routine and a structure that is actually good for our brains and actually good for our sleep and actually good for our mental health. And the fact that you
mm.
have, like, I don't know, it's a very responsible thing to do. I feel like too, because it is actually tricky, and you've definitely taken some responsibility to like try and better what is like good for you in a day.
Yeah, but it feels kind of high maintenance sometimes when I think about it, that I need all of these things to like just sleep or just stay calm through the day. It's kind of like,
Hmm.
wow, what? Like, I wish I didn't
Yeah.
have to do all of these things all the time sometimes,
Mm,
even though I know
mm,
that, like, actually, I was walking my dog yesterday and we went out to this like diving board that's out, like, we live by the coast. So me and Bumi, we went out to a diving board that is like by a like bathing, like a swimming spot, really close to
mm.
us. And then we watched like a guy in a kayak just like drifting past, and he was just like 5 meters probably away from us. And he was in a kayak. He was just on his phone, just like the whole time I was looking at him.
Yeah.
He was just on his phone in his kayak, and I was just like, what are you doing? You're in a kayak. You probably went out in that kayak to kind of get away from that. So why are you
Yeah.
on your phone just scrolling when you're in a kayak in a beautiful fjord? It's just
Mm.
sometimes it feels kind of scary how our phones have just taken over our lives in a way.
Yeah. It's kind of funny though, because I feel like many of our episodes are starting to become a lot about like social media and how
Just like,
every
yeah,
like
renounce
nook and cranny of that.
phones. I
Yeah.
know, I know. Ugh, I
Yeah.
know. But that's what I mean. Like, I am a little bit high maintenance when it comes to like social media and stuff because I know it has an impact on me. And I don't think that that impact is as bad for everyone. I think I'm a little bit
Mm.
sensitive when it comes to like how my phone is affecting me. But I think that everyone could like gain something from being less on their phone.
Oh, for sure. Like just
Yeah.
gain some more time of their lives back. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's that simple.
Mm. And I feel like
Mm.
that's a big part of my work life balance as well, is that when I'm not working, I need to really focus on being present in my life.
Mm.
So not like when I walk Boomy, when I go for like a mountain hike, I don't bring my phone usually anymore because I feel like that would distract me. It would just like
Mm.
be about everything else instead of just like being out
Yeah.
in nature and just like taking it in. And also like me and my partner, we're not that much on like our phones when we hang out
Mm.
because it's more about sharing the moments in a way,
Yeah.
and that's
Mm.
something I really value as well. So, but I've noticed, so this is a funny thing too, what I consume when I listen to podcasts or music, I've noticed that sometimes that really affects me too, because I feel like some entertainment can be a little bit like fast food. It's a
Mm.
little bit like greasy and it doesn't really make you feel good in the long run or
Yeah.
afterwards. It's just like entertainment right there and then. I feel like a lot
Mhm.
of like trashy reality TV shows are kind of like that. It's fast food in a way because it doesn't make you think or feel in a specific way. It's just like look at these shitty people doing shitty things.
Mm-hmm.
And I have this guilty pleasure podcast that I listen to that is a little bit like trash talky, like a little bit bad energy kind of thing, a little bit like not, it's not good vibes. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
noticed like if I'm having already like a little bit of a bad mental health day, I can't listen to that because then I'll just, so then I need
Mm.
to not listen to podcasts, or if I do, then I need to know that I need healthy food, healthy brain food. I
Yeah.
need like good podcasts that make me think or feel or just like ground me a little bit more. So yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, that's also very nice. I feel like that too. I have some podcasts that are just like sometimes they become background noise almost
Yeah.
because I don't really even know why I listen to it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but others are more like that I really enjoy listening to
Mm.
and that I feel like is actually making my day better after listening
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. I hope we will not become this fast food podcast, but if
Oh,
we
God,
are,
yeah.
if we are, then that's fine too. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm okay. I'm okay either way. But
Yeah. I mean, fast food is really good. It's really,
yeah, it
really
is good
good.
too. We need that too, though.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, but yeah, work-life balance is really tough though. It's really hard to find what works for you because also, like, I remember the last time we talked about this, you felt like doing like the perfect morning routine felt kind of
Mhm.
toxic for you, or just like
Yeah.
forced, that it doesn't really work because it's not what you
Mm.
feel like would be right for you.
I actually thought about that also since last time, and I also feel like it's not just the morning routine thing, but I think why I'm so irritated with the morning, like why it's triggering or something, is because
Yeah,
it's so trendy with this morning routine thing. Like it's all over YouTube, all over Instagram, all over all these social media apps that are trying to create these perfect pictures of these perfect lives, and then they have this
yeah,
perfect morning routine, and it's usually like this very successful person, very successful YouTuber sharing their morning routine, and I just feel like
yeah,
sometimes they are just like so unattainable, like so impossible for a normal everyday person to
yeah,
actually
yeah,
do.
yeah.
And it's not just morning routines, it's like evening routines, it's like all of these like trendy things that become
Hmm.
like a bit too strict, I feel like, for what a normal human being usually
Yeah.
can manage. And I just feel like I've also seen there's so much like science around it, and like sometimes this science thing starts to circulate. It's like not necessarily based in science, but there is like one
Yeah,
researcher
it has
figuring out something.
pseudoscience. Yeah.
Yeah, and it just, I don't even know, I haven't researched it, but it's like suddenly there is this science around the morning routine now, where it's like, if you don't do this to your brain in the morning, if you start scrolling on Instagram too early in the morning, then your brain is going to want Instagram for the whole day, and your whole day is going to be ruined, basically. And that's kind of the language that I'm just like very against. I just feel like it
Yeah, yeah,
makes
yeah.
people feel like they have failed. Like the minute they wake up, they feel like they failed because they looked
So
at
it's no
Instagram.
wonder, yeah, it's no wonder that it ruins the day. It's not
Yeah,
Instagram,
because they
it's the
think so.
self-image. Yeah.
Yeah, and because I've read this thing that, oh no, I looked at Instagram now, so now my whole day is gonna be unproductive and I
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
failed. And I just feel like making people feel like they've failed from the minute they wake up is
Yeah.
kind of also not so good for their
It's
morning,
it's
you
like a
know?
self-fulfilling prophecy when they say stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly. So it becomes this super trendy thing that I'm just very against. But I understand the concept of having something nice that happens in the morning, just having something that makes you want to wake up in the morning and just makes you feel happy to start your day.
Yeah.
That's something I really like, but it doesn't have to be like healthy juices,
And
meditation,
yoga.
yoga,
Yeah.
and then going for a run after, which I think is what like Casey Neistat does or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, I don't know. It's too much. And also waking up like super early. I like that too sometimes. Just having going up at 5 and just having that type of, I don't know, special type of morning. But it's so
Mm.
unattainable if you want to hang out with your friends, because it's like you have to go to bed so early that it becomes this almost impossible thing to do for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I just feel like if you have a this is becoming a very long rant, but I feel like if
Yeah.
you if you're gonna make like a morning routine where you get up at 5 and you meditate and all those things, then maybe people should also talk about what you have to sacrifice to do that.
Mm.
Like maybe
Yeah.
you have to sacrifice some things in your social life to do that, and if you're willing to do that, that's fine. But it is there all these things come with sacrifices in a sense,
That's the
and
thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, you can't
Absolutely.
you can't really have all the perfect routines for your whole day.
No.
Then it almost becomes like a military life. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but like, yeah, I know what you mean. And it should be done with joy, because if you do put up a lot of ground rules for yourself and it doesn't feel like you actually benefit from them, then
Hmm.
what's the point? Then it's just work. And it shouldn't be work to just like start the day off right.
Yeah. But I know that, for example, for Bendik, it's more like if he starts his day with scrolling, he's going to be lost, going down
Yeah,
the
yeah. Just
reels
lost
and
in the
stuff.
sauce. Yeah.
Yeah, he gets so lost in it, and he really feels like he needs to not do
Mm,
that if he wants to be creative that day, because then
mm,
he loses a lot of his creativity and his focus. So I have a respect for people that say that they can't do that, and I'm not saying that it's a good way to start your day, but I just feel like you have to figure out what works for you and what is
absolutely.
actually a
It's
problem
so
for you.
individual. Yeah. So I have a new question that I just
Yeah,
thought of instead of the question that I have, because let's
bring
change
it.
the rules. Yeah. What changes would you make to your work life balance? Like, what specific things would you like to implement into your routine?
Hmm. That's a good one. I think actually I would rather change my evening than my morning,
Mm,
because I have the same problem with falling asleep.
mm,
Mm, and I really would like to have a slight structure at least for how my day is, so that I start working around 9 or 10
mm,
and then I quit working around 5 or something.
mm,
And then some days, if I'm filming, then it's not structure. But if there is a day where I'm not filming, then I have that structure.
mm,
And I like that when I manage to have that structure, I enjoy that structure. But it's like,
mm.
it's not always
Maintaining it
working.
is hard. Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, the part with starting at 9 is not so hard. The parts quitting at 5 is the tricky one for
Mm,
me. So
mm,
I really need to say to myself that you have to finish now, even though you're not done with everything. You have to stop. You have to stop
mm.
now. So I need to do that. And in the evening, I just really need to not look at any screens, I think, at least an hour
Yeah.
before I'm going to sleep.
Mm.
And it's tricky because sometimes it's nice to watch a series or something like that in the
Yeah,
evening.
yeah, yeah.
And I just think I can't do that. I need to read a book or something, and I do
Mm,
that sometimes, and then it works, and then yeah, it's out the window. I'm really bad
yeah.
at keeping my structures. That's the problem. I try them all the time, and then
But it
I don't
is
know.
hard. It's so hard to maintain it. But the thing is, like, I remember you asked me, like how I cannot, like, for example, like you look at Instagram before 12. How how can I have the self discipline to not check? There's a ghost here.
What the heck? Yeah,
Whoa.
something just fell off Anna's wall, so we're just gonna
Okay, okay,
yeah.
I'm back.
Mm,
Ah,
yeah.
but yeah, yeah. So you asked me like how to not, and it's so simple, but it's so hard, because when it's good for you, it's kind of like the thing that you don't eat McDonald's every day because you know it's not good for you. So you should eat your vegetables because you know in the long run it's going to be good for you. It's the best thing for you. So it's kind of like the mentality, just like, I'm doing this for tomorrow me, like for me, the next person, like me, me in the future. And if you know something is going to help you in the long run, then it's just like self-love. It's just like, I want to take care of me tomorrow. So, but it's still so hard. I mean, it's easy to say that, oh, I just want to do what's right.
Yeah.
But since I know how I'm like when I don't take care of myself,
Mm.
it's just, yeah, it's so worth it.
Yeah, because when you haven't had the structure, you had worse anxiety and things were.
Very bad anxiety. I couldn't sleep. And
Yeah.
honestly, like oh, sorry about that. My productivity has gone up so much. Like it's
Mm.
my flow state is a lot easier to get into, and I just feel like my creativity has gotten so much better. Like and
Mm.
I get new ideas all the time, and it's because
Mm.
I get enough sleep and I like
Mm.
take care of myself. I feel like,
That's nice. I'm glad that it has this effect as well.
yeah.
I guess it's easier to keep this balance as well if when you know that it's not just good for your mental health, but it also works for your work because we
Yeah,
have this.
actually, it helps both work and my life.
Yeah, exactly. Because I feel like we
Yeah,
have this mentality in our society today that it's like, what's the most important thing? It's work. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's really hard to just do it for you sometimes. I am not necessarily more productive, and sometimes it's also really hard because actually I need those hours when I'm
mm,
editing. It's just I don't really know how to balance it out because
yeah,
I'm just working nonstop for 8 hours. There's nothing unproductive about the time that I'm working. I'm just so focused, and
mm.
it's still just so much time just goes into that.
I think it is like the way, like the work that you do demands so many hours at a time. You kind
Hmm.
of have that kind of like you have a deadline each week, and it's just barely enough time to get it done.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. I've started some things though this year that have been very good for me when to create a better balance, which is one that I'm more honest with people I know that
yeah,
I'm making a video.
yeah,
And what that actually means for me because I've been so secretive about working with YouTube.
yeah.
I've been so embarrassed that I'm actually pursuing it.
Mm,
So I have definitely been like not telling anyone when I have had like a video that I'm gonna finish until Sunday, and I feel like it's more like it's a deadline. Even though I said it
mm,
myself, it is a deadline, and I need to stick to it. Otherwise, it becomes such a drag. Like you have so many things that you haven't finished, and it just becomes more stressful. So sometimes I just need to finish it before Sunday, but people don't like people
yeah.
around me didn't even know that I was working on a video. And if they say like, so do you want to come to this meeting today, or like, do you want to have a coffee or something? Then I'm always been like, yeah, of course. When's the best time for you?
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
they've been like, yeah, are you busy with something? And I've been like, hmm, no, no, not really. Like I can do whenever fits for you because they have like a day job and
Yeah.
I don't. And I've just started to be like, I'm editing a video this week, so I'm a bit stressed. Maybe I can do it that time, but yeah, I'm trying to be more honest and just
Oh, that's
real
so
with people I know.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that helps because then I don't always move my schedule around for everyone else because I often do that.
Mm. And I think
Um,
that's a common misconception about freelance as well, that you're free anytime, that you're just
yeah,
available anytime because you're not working, you're not at work. So you should be
exactly.
available whenever. So
Hmm.
yeah, just so
And I
you
feel like,
know.
and people give you so much slack if you're working. For example, if you have an exhibition with your
Mm,
art, I feel like if that's on Friday and they text you on Wednesday, they don't necessarily expect you to be available because they
mm,
know you have an exhibition on Friday. But if
yeah.
you have a video going up on Sunday, then people have no idea. Like it's
No.
just I don't know. It's not their fault or like my fault, but it's
Mm,
just I guess it's a bit of a new line of work,
yeah.
almost it's a new profession. So it's almost like people don't even know like that you're actually really working hard with it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I try to just tell people and just explain the
Mm,
process a bit more and not be so like secretive about it.
secretive. Yeah.
Yeah, it has helped actually. it helps me and like my self-esteem a bit too, to not always hide the work that I do.
Mm.
It's actually been very freeing with some of these conversations I've had with some
Oh, I
people
can
in my life
imagine.
that I've been so scared to tell. And I've been so scared to talk about it. And now I'm just starting to just, I don't know, it feels really freeing.
Yeah, but you should be proud of it because it is hard work and you're doing like
Hmm.
really good work as well. It's being noticed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like, yeah, I've had this like this week, last week, so many weeks, so many years, like all the time, these ups and downs with it though. It sometimes just feel like because the balance is so difficult to maintain and my
Mm,
life just gets sucked into it almost. I sometimes really think like, is this worth it? Because it's still not making me that much money. It's still kind of hard to make it into a real job.
mm,
And I really love it. I really love the process. I still really enjoy every part of making these videos and publishing them, but it's still just so much time goes into it and so
yeah.
much focus and so much, I don't know, brain capacity that I
Yeah.
am scared sometimes that I will just disappear. Like my life will
Yeah.
just disappear
That won't
almost.
happen. But yeah,
No.
I know, I absolutely know what you mean. And it's, I think we both have jobs where there's a lot of insecurity. There's not,
Mm.
everything is uncertain in a lot of ways. Like I
Mm.
used to have nightmares that I would wake up one day and I just couldn't paint anymore. That
Yeah.
I just like, it just stopped. It's just like, ah, it's gone. And,
Mm.
and even though like me too, like I love painting, I love art, I love making art, but of course like there's sometimes like this like fear in the back of my head that can I do this for the rest of my life, can this be something that will actually like support me for a long long time, and
Is it
also like
worth it?
is it worth it, and I also have
Yeah.
other dreams to have a small farm and I want to travel, and sometimes the idea of this shop of like being an independent artist just selling my art feels unrealistic compared to like all
Mm.
the other things I want to do. But at the same time I feel like I can't really do, I really love this so much that I don't want to do anything else. So as long as I
Mm.
love this as much as I do, it kind of, it just has to make sense in a way.
Yeah, and I mean, you have been working with it for a while now and it has been working
Yeah.
out. So I feel like it's you kind of achieved it, the
Yeah.
dream. Don't you, do you not feel like you have gotten there yet? Or
Not yet. No. I feel
really?
like yeah, it's weird. I think that my goals and my dreams just changed over the years. So like if I look back
Mm.
at when I first started 7 years ago, this would be the dream. This would be like the peak of what I thought I could do back
Yeah.
then. So it would be like, "Oh my god, that's amazing. You're here." And now I'm here and I'm kind of like, "Oh, but I kind of want more."
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's the human
Exactly.
condition. We're never happy with what we have. We just want
For
more.
sure.
Yeah. And it's probably the same for
Yeah.
you that when you
Yeah.
started your YouTube journey,
Mm.
you probably had visions of what you wanted to achieve. And now
Mm.
you're closer to that probably than you ever were.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, yeah, but
still,
still not enough, right?
it's still not enough.
Yeah, oh, that's
Yeah.
true. I feel like I do look back at the dreams that I had a few years ago and I remind myself of them just because I am actually there. I wanted to live in the countryside. I wanted to have my own house. Like
Yeah.
not own my own house. I was kind of certain that that would take some time, but
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
rent somewhere and I wanted to be able to live from what I love and work with the things that I love. And I do. I work with the things that I love and I do live in this house. But I also had this dream,
Mm.
going back to our topic. I
Yes.
also had this dream of having more time, to just
Yeah.
be outside and sit and just listen to the birds. And I, lately at least, not all the time, but lately, I haven't at all been there. Like it's just
Yeah.
been so much work. And
Everything ebbs and flows. It's kind of like nothing is ever completely stable. So even though
mm,
like right now you don't have a lot of time, I think that sometime in the future things will sort of just like calm down in a way, or you'll you'll get better at editing over the years as well. Things will get easier. You will find
yeah,
shortcuts and it will be like things that work for you. So I
yeah,
think that
I
everything
hope
will
so.
sort of like find that kind of, there's always
mm,
going to be downs and it's always going to
yeah.
be like hard times, but
mm,
I think it's worth to just like power through.
yeah, thank you. I'm glad you're saying
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I needed to hear that. For
Yeah, but
sure.
I right now you have a lot on your plate though. So it's no wonder that you don't really have the free time, the spare time.
Mm, mm. Yeah, and it's just like I said this the last time too, but it's sometimes when I'm working too much with YouTube, it becomes this duality that's almost, I think it's kind of scary. And I sometimes think that's why a lot of creators that work like this have mental issues eventually. Like a lot of creators have mental breakdowns eventually, especially when they
Yeah.
go viral and stuff. But it's like, I feel like because when I'm filming myself and creating something out of that, I'm filming some
Mm,
parts of my life, not everything, not all the things that are me, and not. I'm actually kind of private with a lot of things. Like there's so
mm,
much I don't share on my channel, so much that people don't know, and that they will never know. And I feel like it's just like I'm sharing some parts of me, not all parts of me. It's not fake. It's just not everything. It couldn't
mm,
possibly be everything. And it's just how it is. And I'm creating this other, like, I'm creating this video, this object out of the film material that I've made and all of those things. And suddenly, this thing that was actually my life and the thing that I was filming and the thing that I was doing that day that I was filming, it
mm,
just becomes this object. It becomes this thing, this artwork almost, or like this production.
mm,
And since it's my life and since it's me in this object, it's almost like I become an object too. Like
mm,
my life becomes an object. And that is fine. Like that is how it works when you're kind of making art from your life. Like if you're writing about your life or you painting yourself or
mm,
self portraits and stuff, like you create kind of an object out of yourself in a way, and you're
mm.
separating it from yourself. But I guess that works fine as long as it's not all the time. And when it's all the time, when I'm always filming, always editing, then I actually feel like I start to become like my actual life and my actual self starts to become this object.
Yeah.
I'm suddenly that person that's like kind of small and less, I don't know, three-dimensional version of me.
Yeah.
I almost feel myself becoming two-dimensional because all of my life is just filming and editing, and I guess I don't have any space for other thoughts and other things. So actually the things that are in these videos, the objectified version of me almost just becomes me. And then I really start to feel scared because then it almost feels
Yeah.
like the videos are almost consuming me instead of the other way
Mm,
around. Like I'm not taking my
yeah.
life and sharing some parts of it online. It's almost like I don't have anything else, you know.
Yeah.
I'm just that thing online, the two-dimensional version of me. And that's
Oh,
actually me. And it becomes really scary, and I feel like that's a very important part of like why I need some sort of balance.
absolutely.
And not I think that's kind of a tricky type of balance because it's not all about like how I structure my day. It's almost more about how I structure the YouTube world generally,
Mm,
like what parts of myself that I share, and also how often I create videos. It's
mm,
just become very important to me to not create videos all the time because then I don't
mm.
have any weeks when I'm not filming.
Yeah.
and and creating this object out of my life, because I need my life to also just be my life and not to be like
Mm.
this object for videos.
Mm.
And yeah, so it's really important actually to not have it all the time. And I realized that that means that I can't post videos every other week. I need to
Yeah.
post them every month. I think every month is usually a good balance. Then I have a few weeks where I'm not filming and
And you can actually
pick up my
just
camera.
exist. Yeah.
Yeah, I just need to exist without being
Yeah.
this online thing.
Yeah, but I remember like when I think it was in the first episode or the second, that you feel like there's so many sides of you that your followers don't see. Like
Yeah.
that you're a little bit feisty, you're
Hmm.
like opinionated,
Yeah.
you're strong, and
Yeah.
you're like and really funny and really cool. And it
Thank
is
you.
that kind of thing that I even though I don't feel my life in the way you do, and I can't imagine how that must feel like, I
Mm.
still know that I have a persona that's on my Instagram, like my artist persona, that's not
Yeah.
completely who I am
Mm.
in real
Exactly.
life. And
It's a
it's
persona. It
it's
is.
a persona. It's like a mask that you wear, and it's still you. It's a replica
Mm.
of you, but it's
Mm.
without your flaws. It's without like
Mm.
your like not as attractive traits in a
I would
way.
actually say I for me, I just feel like I want to disagree on that because I actually went through that phase. I'm not there still because I
Yeah.
feel like I actually am not very perfectionist in that
Yeah.
sense. I'm actually not. I'm trying to be as real as possible. So I'm
Mm.
not. I'm not feeling like it's a mask anymore.
No, but
Honestly,
that's good.
it
That's
doesn't feel
good.
like a mask. It
Yeah.
feels like that's what I'm saying. Like it's not fake and it's not a mask. It's just that I'm not sharing all of me. It's just
Mm.
small. Like it's not everything. It's
Mm.
parts of me, and those parts are still just as real because I'm trying my best not to be like I was more in the beginning, where I was more like making everything nice and perfect and trying
Mm.
way too hard to do that. And now I'm more
Yeah.
like I'm
Yeah.
picking up my camera and I have like my hair is all over the place and I'm just like blah blah blah. I'm not thinking
Oh,
that
that's
much
good.
about how I
Yeah.
look, and I'm just trying to be as real as possible. But it still becomes a persona because it's
Mm.
just an object that you create out of that
Mm.
afterwards. And I feel like that's also with you. Like it's impossible. You can't be that person that is online. That person is already from the minute you take a picture of yourself.
Yeah.
You have created
It's
an
it's
object.
it's a distance in a way. Like I
Yeah.
think I told you this the last time we tried to record this episode, was that I had a day where I was trying to film like a few like seconds each hour of the day. And me and my partner went to go, like, we played ping pong up by a park. And I had brought strawberries. And, like, after we played ping pong, I filmed the ping pong. And then we just lay, like, on the ping pong table in the sun, eating strawberries. And I just, like, really enjoyed that moment. I was just, like, really lost in that moment. And I thought, this is so, it's just wonderful. It's just so cozy.
Mm.
And then like my head went to like, oh, I should film this because it's so nice. It's a real moment. I should film this. And at
Mm.
that moment, when I just like I went out of the moment, took my phone, tried to film a little bit, and then it was kind of ruined in a way because then I had
Mm.
distanced myself from what was actually a really beautiful moment. And I imagine like
Exactly.
when you live your life that way as well, that each moment you think, oh, this should be filmed, it kind of
Mm.
lessens the moment for you, even though it's beautiful on camera.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. That's exactly
Mm.
it's spot on a good example, I feel like, of how it becomes when I film all the time and when I
Yeah.
create videos every other week.
Mm.
That's how my entire life feels like, you know?
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just to say that so people don't get too worried. I feel like that's not anymore. Like I've stopped doing that for like many many months now. I think maybe half a year since I've actually done that.
Yeah.
So I've been really strict with not doing that all the time type
Mm.
of filming anymore. But it was really fun in the beginning. It was so fun to just
Yeah.
film whenever I felt like there was a beautiful moment, and then you just get lost in it in a way. And then it kind of got out of control, I feel like, and it just
Yeah.
felt like I had to post a video every other week because I had to like maintain that growth
Mm.
and stuff. And
Mm.
then I felt so drained, and I just felt so flat. Like
Mm.
I felt like there wasn't anything more to me than the object that I was creating
Yeah.
out of
Ugh.
myself
Oh
almost.
my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, and it becomes this persona, like you say. I mean, there is a, and I guess the problem basically is when this persona becomes you.
Mm.
Because I don't have a problem with having a persona online.
No.
I'm actually kind of fine with that. It's nice, it's fun. It's also nice sometimes. It's the security as well to be able
Yeah.
to share my own opinions about things and my own like feelings about things in my own platform. It actually feels like a freedom as well, that nobody else can come in here and share things about me, because
Mm.
I
It's
could
under your
always talk back
control.
to them. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have the control in a sense.
But I feel
Yeah.
like this podcast is like for me a very nice way to just share a little bit more about who I'm actually like, who I'm, what I'm really like behind the Instagram profile and behind all that,
Yes.
because this is more natural. Like talking to a
Mm.
friend that like been friends for almost 10 years now.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, of course, this is one of my most natural selves. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Me too. I feel like
Mm.
it's really nice. It's nice to have a place where I can talk about these things too, where it doesn't become
Yeah.
such a scary thing. Because I feel like talking about that on YouTube sometimes becomes a bit too negative and too serious almost. I don't know.
Yeah. But
It's nice to
it
have,
is a little bit
yeah.
of that toxic positivity that goes around too, that like we're not
Yeah.
supposed to complain anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be kind of honest in my videos when I have a bad time too.
Mm.
I'm trying not to be so positive anymore. That's also
Yeah.
something that I've started to move away from for a while.
Yeah.
But it's just sometimes just have a long conversations about things can be a bit trickier.
Yeah.
Just doesn't work with the format almost.
Yeah. 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 Mental health wise, I've started to become so comfortable about talking about my anxiety and like
Mm,
that whole part of me, because I've accepted that it's been such a big part of me. And
mm.
I kind of just feel like excited about sharing more about what works for me and my anxiety now.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you're sharing that, and I'm also really glad that you're honest about that. Like, of course,
Yeah.
I know about that, but
Yeah, you
it's
know.
but it's more like if yeah, it makes it even more real, I guess, for other people to learn
Yeah.
about what helped you, and as long as when you're honest about the fact that you have struggled with that, I feel like it
Mm,
even becomes more relatable for many people that needs to
yeah.
maybe hear that it can
Yeah.
be better, that there are things you can do and it might
Yes.
help, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you're a
Mm.
strong woman.
You are. No, you are. We are. We
We
are
are.
strong. Oh.
But I wanted to just have a very, very short, this is very unrelated to everything, but maybe it's a good way to end, like just having a bit of a lighter note.
Yeah, yeah.
Just wanted to ask you, because I know that you have been making more reels on Instagram, and
Ah,
we talked
yes.
about that. And speaking of like mental health and social media, you said, you know, that when you started sharing your face on your Instagram, then
Oh,
you lost all of
yeah.
your followers. Has that
Yeah.
been happening now? Has you like, have it been like the same way?
Honestly, I haven't checked.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Great.
I yeah. Right now, I think I'm just like I've tapped out of the whole checking my insights on Instagram and checking like the statistics, because
Hmm.
I felt like that just it just didn't make it fun anymore. So right now
Hmm.
I don't check, but I know that during the summer I usually get like a little bit of a wave of new followers because of the shop, because of tourists
Yeah.
that they stop by and
Nice.
they get my business card and they follow me. So there's a
Hmm.
natural like increase in followers, but
Hmm. That's a
like
bit
I
fun
think
though.
it has been so much fun.
I'm
It's
glad.
really so much fun, and
Hmm.
it's just like I miss sometimes making YouTube videos because I loved the aesthetic part of it, just like
Mm.
getting the nice shots and, like you said, telling a story about like telling a story with footage, and
Mm.
yeah, and it's just like a short form of YouTube, I feel like.
But I'm proud of you. I'm glad you decided to do it and not look at the statistics. That's
Yeah,
great. That's really good.
you know what?
Speaking
I've
of
gotten to
mental
the
health,
point. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
gotten to the point where I don't want to care about people unfollowing me anymore. I know that the people that stay, they stay because they really like what I do, and I'd rather have them follow me and be there and comment
Mm.
instead of just
Mm.
like people that don't really want to see my face.
Yeah.
So now it's kind of like I'm in that mental space where I just think, okay, if this is a cleansing of my Instagram, that's fine. If this is just gonna
Mm.
like cleanse out all the people that don't really want to be there, that's all good for me. And then I can just like regrow.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you're doing that
Ooh,
because I feel like you've
yay.
talked about it. I feel like many people are going to be like, "Why is this so important?" But it's not that important. It's just that we have talked about this for many years almost.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
fact that you just stopped and you felt like you wanted to get back and it was tricky, and yeah. So I'm glad that it's working out.
Yeah, yeah. But it took a while. It took a really long time. Like
Yeah.
when I looked back, because I recently posted a new Meet the Artist type
Mm.
drawing where I drew me and Boomy. And I looked
Yeah.
back in my feed and I found the latest one, like the last one I posted. And it was in
Mm.
2020, in May
Yeah.
2020. And when I looked at all the posts between this new one and that one, I was like, I didn't post at all through the pandemic. I was dead
Mm.
to Instagram through the
Mm.
pandemic. And it was so weird because in my head, I didn't think I was that gone from Instagram because I was sitting there scrolling every day, just like
Mm.
doomsday scrolling in a way, just like,
Yeah.
consuming,
Yeah.
but I never posted anything. So I
Mm.
was there lurking in the shadows for 2 years. And I just, and now I'm back.
Yeah. Yeah, I think everyone should start following you now so that they can look at this new transformation
Yeah.
as it is happening.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But it
I've
feels
really
really
enjoyed
good.
it.
It feels
Yeah.
like I'm taking my power back in a way because it
Yeah, I'm
felt
glad.
like Instagram made me a little bit, it made me feel powerless in a lot of ways. And now
Mm.
it's kind of like, yeah, I'm embracing it again. Mm.
Yeah. Wow, that kind of makes me think a lot, but it's like, yeah, maybe that persona was kind of taking control over you as well.
Yeah, I think so, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Now you're taking it back. I'm glad.
Yeah. Okay, so we did 2 questions this time. Do
Again?
you do you do you want to do a part two?
Yeah. We should do
Yeah.
that. We should do that. There
So
are some more like nitty-gritty things we can talk about here
that's the
now.
thing. I think we have a lot more to talk about when it's work-life balance.
Yeah, and also I guess if people have questions about it as well, you can send it to us on Instagram and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
We will see, probably not in the next episode, but maybe another one. If you
yeah.
have questions for Anna, the work-life balance guru, how to maintain a steady balance. If you need some advice,
uh,
then ask her. Don't ask me because I have no idea. I'm still kind of listening to her and just trying to take notes.
but it feels like you know a little bit like yourself what you need, and I think you'll get there. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
yeah. Thank you for
Thank
this.
you too.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for listening. We will be back, and I hope the audio on this one was a bit better. We're working on it
Yes.
now.
Mm.
And maybe next one will record actually in Anna's shop together
I
again.
hope so.
Hmm. I hope so too. So yeah, we'll see you there.
Yes. Bye.
Bye everyone.